directly motorcycle related, but it was about my first 2 attempts at getting a 4-wheel vehicle, aka a car. Now, I had my motorcycle license for many years before I even got my car license, and I had a motorcycle for several years before I even thought about getting a car. And I finally decided that freezing my ass off in winter on a motorcycle, no matter how warm you dressed, was not fun. So I thought finally it's about time I get myself a 4-wheel vehicle. And I'm not really a car guy. They sort of, you know, get me from A to B. But I do like vehicles that handle and stop and accelerate. So, you know, I was looking around. My best friend, actually, big time Corvette fan, and he had a, I think it was either a 63 or a 64 Corvette convertible, beautiful car. When he bought it, it only had 5,000 original miles on it. We're talking like in the late 70s, and it was just pristine. So he was trying to tell me what cars to get and what are good and what's not good, but most of the stuff he likes just doesn't do it for me. So I was looking around. We have back then it was a paper that came out once a week called the Auto Trader, where you can look to buy cars, and there's one called the Truck Trader, and up in Canada we have the Snowmobile Trader, so, or we did. Anyways, I was looking through the latest Auto Trader and I came across this car. It looked kind of cool. So I asked my buddy about it, and he didn't know what the heck, anything about it. So we thought we'd go check it out. So turned out the guy who had this car was just a little, well, maybe a half an hour away from where we lived. So I went to check it out. So here's a picture of the car I was looking at. Of course, this is not the exact car, but if you notice, it's a 1972 Jaguar coupe or hardtop, and it was the first car I seen that went like, hey, I kind of like this. And I went and checked this car out, and it was, you know, you gotta realize this is like the mid-80s, so it was like, you know, over 15 years old, but it'd been used, but it was pretty good condition. You know, a lot of little things, you know, need to be addressed, but overall, it was a car that was in pretty good shape. So we took it for a test drive, and it was freaking awesome. Like, I've been in my buddy's vet, and you know, massive amount of power, lots of noise, and you know, kind of an exciting thing to ride in and even to drive. But we got in this Jag, and the first thing we noticed was that how quiet and silky smooth that V12 engine was. And I mean silky smooth. It was like almost like a turbine. And we got you know, hard on the gas, and like we were doing 60 miles an hour, and we just put our foot to the floor, and it shoved you back in the seat like a top fuel dragster. It was just incredible. So took it back and talked to the guy, made an offer, and the reason he was selling it was he was going into the Air Force for flight training. And we have 2 schools for flight training. We have one in the east and one out in the west, and he was told he was going out west. So he couldn't take the car with him, so that's the reason why he was going to sell it, because he was going to be out west for about 4 years. So I ended up, you know, I gave him my offer, and he said, "You have to think about it." I said, "Well, I'll call you in a couple days and see what you think." And so I called back. I think I saw it on the Friday, so I think I called him back Monday, and he said, "Well, I got some good news and some bad news." I said, "Well, what's the good news?" He says, "Well, the good news is it changed my flight training. I'm now going to the East Coast, and the bad news is I'm going to be able to keep the car, so I'm not going to sell it." And I was like, "Oh crap!" I started planning about what I was going to do with it. So I ended up losing out on an E-Type, and I looked around, and there wasn't any more really nearby to find, and I wasn't in the mood to drive to Alberta or whatever to go look at a car that badly. So I was flipping through the Auto Trader the next couple weeks later, and I came across the Jag for sale. It was used, but it was only a couple years old, and it was at a dealer in Toronto. So I thought, hey, what the heck, I'll go check out the new one, see what they're like. So I went out and checked this car out, and it was really nice. It was a XJS, which was actually the car they used to replace the E-Type when they stopped production. I believe it was in 74, 75. And just a hairpin turn there. So went and talked to the dealer, and he says, well, we got to put some gas in it before we take it out. And he said, well, just go in there and start it up, and I'll get they have a company gas card. So I'm sitting there and turn the key, and you know when a car starts, they just shake a little bit, you know, from the engine firing up, and then it smooths out. Well, it shook a bit, and then it smoothed out, and it's like, I can't hear it. It's like I can't feel it. It's sort of weird. So I'm sitting there looking, I was like, do I restart it again? Maybe it didn't start. And I look on the dash, and it's like just ticking over at about 1,000 RPMs is the engine. This had a V12 as well. You know, it's an improved version of the one in the E-Type, which I thought was pretty smooth. So I actually sat there and blipped the throttle a few times, and like it was even smoother than the E-Type. It was like, holy crap, this car's nice. So I went out and took it for a drive, and the interesting thing is this dealer was pretty close to the 427. Now 427 is like a collector highway between the Queenie and the 401 in Toronto, and it's a concrete highway, so it's very noisy because it's got some sort of a texture on it that makes it noisy on the tires make a lot of noise, and that noise tends to go right through the driver's compartment of the car. You tend to hear like just a steady drone. So I was on the 427, and I'm on that highway with a Jag, and it's like I'm hearing nothing. We're carrying on a conversation like we're in a library. That's how quiet and smooth and, you know, nice this car was. And I'm thinking, okay, this ain't bad. Now the E-Type I was looking at was around about $11,000 or $12,000, and I figured, well, you know, this is, I didn't know what the price was on yet. You got to remember, this is before the internet where you could look up things quick. You just sort of had to rely on print ads and talking to people. So I went back to the dealer, and we started talking, and he says, well, this one's it's a year old. It's a demo model, and we're gonna, you know, we got it discounted to sell at a decent price, and I think the price was like $29,000. And it was like, holy crap. Now I probably could have gone into a job of playing poker after that, because I had no expression on my face, and I managed to not have the absolute shocked, stunned look on my face from the price, because like a really expensive car back in the mid-1980s was, you know, 20 grand. Like that was like a Cadillac. That was like, you know, fully loaded. So this thing just floored me. That was my introduction to uber expensive European cars. So I told him, I said, well, I'll have to think about it, and I will let you know. And needless to say, I didn't buy that, because it was a little bit out of my price range. So the end result was 2 tries at cars, Jags, of course, but ended up not getting them. Now, later on, what happened was because I was racing at the time, I ended up needing a truck to get to the racetrack, because I had a trailer to pull. So I ended up buying a Chevy S10 Blazer, which, you know, I kept for like 13 or 14 years. Shows you how much I'm into 4-wheel vehicles. So anyways, that's my little short history of 4-wheel automobiles. Thought you might like it, a little bit interesting. Anyways, Death Stalker signing out.